Alright, when we're talking about triangles and we're talking about congruence, obviously, if we have a congruent triangle, that means we have congruent sides and congruent measures, which means the measures are the same, or the corresponding measures are the same, and the corresponding sides are going to be the same. Now, there are 5 ways that we can check for this congruence. The first way is called the side-side-side theorem. And what that means is that we have two triangles whose corresponding sides, all 3 sides, are congruent. That tells us if we have that situation. So if I have 2 triangles, and they have corresponding congruent sides, then I know that the 2 triangles must be congruent. At the same time, I also have the side angle side theorem, which tells me that if I have 2 triangles, and I know that they have a side, an angle, and another side, in that order, that are congruent, then I have 2 congruent triangles. The third one would be my angle side angle, which would be, I've got 2 triangles, I have an angle that's congruent, I have a side that's congruent, and I have another corresponding angle that is congruent. This tells me that these 2 triangles have to be congruent. The fourth one would be my angle side postulate, which tells me that I've got one angle whose the corresponding angles who are congruent. I've got a second angle that are corresponding and congruent, and then I have a side that is also congruent. So all 3 of these tell me that these triangles now have got to be congruent, which means all of their sides, corresponding sides, have got to be equal. The last one is if I know that I have a right triangle, and I know that I have a set of legs that are congruent, and I know the hypotenuse is congruent, then I can say that those 2 triangles are congruent, which really is sort of like a side angle side, but not quite, so we call it the hypotenuse leg theorem. And now with those 5 theorems, I can then prove certain things about triangles and congruent triangles, and it allows me to work with congruent triangles. If I look here, I've just got some examples of them. If we look here, I've got congruent sides here and here, so I know those ones have got to be equal. I also know that this line has got to be equal to this line in both triangles, so I have a side, side, side relationship. If I look at my next one, I've got corresponding angles there that are congruent, corresponding segments there that are congruent, and I've also got unmarked, but I know that these 2 are vertical angles, which means they've got to be corresponding. So I have a angle, let me get the highlighter, I've got an angle, and a side, an angle, an angle, and a side, so that would be an angle, side relationship. The next one I have angles here, got my side here, and then again I've got my vertical angles, so I have a angle, side is in between now, the other angle, the side is in between the other angle, so this one is going to be an angle, side, angle relationship. In my last one I've got congruent sides here, and there, and I've also got a vertical angle. So I know I have a side, angle, side, side, angle, side relationship. And now remember, these relationships tell me that these 2 triangles are congruent, which means that all the corresponding angles, all the corresponding sides are congruent as well.